Hi Eva, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Gabby. How are you?
I am excellent, thank you. And thank you very much for joining us today, talking about, well, the last 25 years of dentistry and your experience within it as well. I think we'll have some good conversations.
It's a huge privilege to be here. Thank you.
So, shall we start off with my favourite question, which is, how did you get into dentistry? What's your story?
Yeah, my story is, I loved biology at school. I went to a biology degree and thought I'd want to do something that's actually going to give me a job at the end of it, so not just biology itself. Looked at the careers book and somebody said, oh, how about doing dentistry? And I went, ugh, looking down people's mouths for the rest of my life. And the more I looked at it, the more I saw that it was working with your hands, it was working with people, and as academic as you want it to be. And I have absolutely loved it. And if I had my choice again, I would do the same again.
I mean, not many people get to say that, I don't think. So that's really nice to hear.
Yeah.
And you were a practice owner at 24, is that right?
Absolutely right. Yes, that sort of fell into that. And I don't know how on earth that happened, but I was in a partnership at 24.
Wow.
When interest rates were at 16%, took a massive loan, had no idea what I was doing, and of course had the various scars to prove that it's quite difficult to be a practice owner in dentistry.
Of course, but I mean, it's a massive achievement to have taken that on. And do you feel that was something you really learned from? Did you take a lot away from that experience?
Very much so, and every day in dentistry is an experience, because we have to do the practice ownership, you have to do the business side, you have to be a dentist, you have to be, a coach and a mentor to your staff. So there's so many aspects of that which are really hard to balance up. But actually, when you do get the balance, it's great. And I think I found it when I found a really, really good mentor to help me in my practice and in my dentistry as well.
Yeah, I've heard that the word mentor a lot since starting my kind of journey in dentistry, I guess you can say, and how important it is to find the right mentor when you're a younger dentist in particular, so they can guide you in the right direction and where you want to go. And I mean, I'm assuming you agree, given that you're now a mentor yourself, right?
And actually, that's who I model myself on. My mentor was a dentist called John Pollard, who used to work with Kevin Lewis in his coaching and mentoring business that they used to have at that point. And they actually saw me through a very difficult time from a business point of view, where I was being threatened with bankruptcy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They saw me through that, and at the end of 6 months said, right, you know what to do, and I just burst into tears. So he looked after me after that for many years.
That's nice to have that relationship though with somebody, I think, particularly if you're having some challenges in dentistry, which I think everybody's probably faced at some point in their career. And I mean, what do you now do as a mentor? Tell me a little bit about your coaching and who you help.
So I help practice owners. I also help individual professions complementary to dentistry, so hygienists and therapists, etc. The idea behind this is that I support them with all the knowledge that I have, with all the experience I have in dentistry, both from a business point of view and also from the personal aspect of trying to be a good professional.
Yeah.
I hold them in a coaching conversation so we can discuss the various problems that they have, non-judgmentally, in a safe environment, and help people to achieve their goals. If it's from a business point of view, if it's from running a dental practice point of view, there are all sorts of aspects of practice. So, for example, the financial aspect, the resource aspect, the compliance aspect. There's all the aspects of actually trying to do your dentistry as well, the marketing. There are all aspects of that. And as a single practice owner, as a small practice, it's very difficult to keep those cogs running together. If something then doesn't work or something gets stuck, then it might come out as you have a financial problem, but actually what it is, if you look at it, is a human resource problem or a finance problem. So it's looking at the whole picture and being able to have an overview and working with those dentists or with those professionals in trying to improve what they do.
And is this something that you do in conjunction with your role with Demplan?
We do that. There's a number of us that are trained in coaching and mentoring within being Demplan advisors.
Okay.
Demplan advisors' role is slightly different. So Demplan have a quality assurance scheme called Excel, As part of that quality assurance scheme, where dentists subscribe to that and try and improve what they're doing, every 14 months or so, they will get a practicing dentist who comes into their practice to have a look at around about 300 different things in the practice, including things like record card audits and radiation protection, look at all the compliance, look at instrumentation, to see that, make sure that that practice is compliant as far as it possibly can be. So Dentplan Excel actually existed many, many years before the CQC did.
Okay.
QC came in, dentists were using Dentplan Excel to try and make sure that they were as up together as possible on their compliance. So it's been a huge support to dentists for many years, and it continues to be so.
I can imagine it still holds the value as it did all those years ago as well. Do you think it still has a place here within dentistry?
Absolutely, completely agree with that. Dentists nowadays, especially the smaller practices where they don't have a massive compliance department that they can turn to, find it very, very difficult. So Dentplan actually gives many of these policies and procedures and guidance. So that's from one point of view. And then when we come in, it's so different to have a dentist who's not a competitor, who only has that dentist's interests at heart, who can have the conversations about moving forwards, who can have difficult conversations about trying to achieve the various bars of compliance they come in. Because that's what happens all the time with quality improvement. We're constantly improving, therefore the bar for that goes up. Below the bar, then you risk having problems with all sorts of issues. And I think COVID has really pushed that forward. So we've all been very worried about how we come out of that, how we manage everything afterwards. It's been very much a rabbit in headlights. And organisations such as Dentplan have actually helped people through that with their support.
Yeah, I can imagine you've had your plate full these last couple of years.
Yes, and it's lovely to have a conversation with somebody who's really anxious, really concerned, really at the end of their tether, and at the end of that conversation to have a clear path forwards, to clarify what the objectives are, and also to give them support in where to go to for extra help if they need it. So yeah, it's been brilliant.
It sounds like I need a Dentplan advisor, to be honest with you. It's quite
maybe just a coach and a mentor.
Therapeutic. Yeah, I mean, all that maybe. It sounds, I love the idea of having a conversation about something that's worrying me and coming away from it feeling a little bit more at peace with what's ahead, really. That must be quite nice.
Yeah, it is really good. And as I say, from the experience of having all these years in dentistry, I always say that dentistry is a huge roller coaster. So on the way up, you know that the view from the top is going to be brilliant, and on the way down you've got G-force to keep you smiling.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. That's really nice. I mean, you just said you've obviously been in dentistry for, I mean, how many years has it been now?
I don't know what to count. I qualified in 78.
Okay, so obviously we're celebrating 25 years of dentistry.co.uk. I was going to ask you, as a dentist, as a mentor, however you fancy, looking back over the last 25 years, what's your kind of highlight, I guess, of your career? Have you had a moment, a really defining moment where you've looked back, or even in the moment where you think this is a real sort of nice feeling and it's made me feel like I've got somewhere?
I've actually got lots and lots of moments.
That's nice. I like that.
It's been a huge privilege to be part of the dental profession, but my journey started with that mentor at the very, very beginning, and he got to a point when he said, I think you can go in for some awards now. So what we had done, got the team together, we delegated everything. Having done the certificate in dental practice appraisal, one of the things that I learned that in quality assurance, every action that's taken to establish and protect and promote and improve the quality of healthcare leads to quality, right?
Yeah.
So to a better experience for the patient. And once I got that in my head, we were the first dental practice in the country to achieve Investor in People, which allowed me to learn about what my team actually contribute to that.
Okay.
And I actually hadn't appreciated what everybody did in the practice. And once I started to do that and get people on board to what we wanted to do as a practice, rather than me pushing people into doing things, I was actually being pulled along by my team, which was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You know, it just made everything made a lot more sense. So delegation, to be able to give people their own professional challenges was useful. And I've got many team members who are going on and doing wonderful things. At one point, we actually won an award for our children's dentistry, which was completely run by my team.
Oh, wow.
So we won an award which allowed me to go to Hong Kong on the back of that, which is fabulous.
Wonderful. How was that?
It was absolutely wonderful. So it was to the International Association of Paediatric Dentists conference.
Okay.
And it was sorry, no, that wasn't that one. That was Sydney.
Oh, it should be more than one trip then.
Dentistry, and that makes it lots of fun. So the international coaching, the international. Oh yeah. Forget that one. I've forgotten what the name of the course is.
No, that's all right. That's all right. We can start.
So, with regards to highlights, winning dental awards, we won Private Dentistry Practice Team of the Year, which was a fantastic accolade to my team and everything they did. One of the lovely, huge compliments that I had was Kevin Lewis invited me to speak at the Young Dentists Conference about who owned dentistry. Was it the individual dentist in practice, or was it the corporate?
Okay.
The debate.
Well, that sounds a bit scary.
In front of 300 young dentists.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I won hands down.
No way. Oh, well done.
Because it actually is what each individual dentist does that allows both individual practices, but also corporates, to do what they do. Without their dentists, they can't provide the service.
Good point.
And it's up to us to maintain those standards, to actually do the best dentistry that we can, in whatever circumstances we have, whether it's NHS or whether it's fully private. So that was a really interesting debate. And in the front seat of the audience was my daughter, who was at dental school at that point.
Oh, that's so nice.
Really wonderful.
That's really, really nice. Yeah. Did you know? I'm assuming you knew. Did she?
I knew she was there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know she just sort of surprised. You know.
No, that would have been a shock, I think.
Oh, that's lovely. So, I mean, it sounds like you've had a lot to celebrate over the last 25 years, and I think at an individual level, but at a more general level, just looking at the profession as a whole, do you feel that dentistry has gone in the right direction? Do you feel like it's come a long way in the last 25 years?
Dentistry has come an awfully long way. I was actually looking at some of the dates from 1997 to 2002. And in 1997, the first fire precaution regulations came out. Okay. In 1998, there was the Clinical Governance Healthcare Commission, and there was the Data Protection Act. 2002 was COSH. 2008 was the first decontamination in dental practices, but that wasn't until 2013 that we had HDMO 105.
Of course.
2015, we started having CQC. 2018, we had GDPR and the Data Protection Act. And it wasn't until 2018 that we actually had enhanced CPD.
See, I mean, I've just learned a lot from that timeline, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and actually, when I started dentistry, I didn't wear gloves. We didn't wear gloves, not just me.
Yeah.
We didn't wear gloves.
I mean, to look back at that now, particularly with COVID as well, is just astonishing, to be honest.
And I think what's happened is that COVID has just completely tipped the balance.
Yeah, I agree.
The compliance with all these rules and regulations has become more and more onerous.
Yeah.
And it's moving dentists. But doing the dentistry in itself is very hard work. Dealing with an environment to fractions of a millimetre tolerances, an environment people don't want to be there. You've got to be working with your team very closely. to deliver that result that you want to deliver, which in itself is a huge undertaking, and that in itself produces personal stresses and strains. And when all the other regulation that we have to comply with, it really does put the pressures on. And then on top of that, actually making this pay, making it a financially viable business, whether it's NHS or whether it's private, it's still very difficult. And it's hard to separate those things out. I think one of the things, it's not just dentistry that's in this situation, it's all businesses that's in this situation. And it's very easy as dentists to think, oh, everybody's getting at us. But we have to find ways around this. And that's happened throughout every single generation that's in dentistry. And I do firmly believe that the generation that's coming into dentistry now will find their way through all of this stuff that's going on at the moment. They'll find a way through, and they'll create their own dental environment, if you like.
I think so. I agree. I think there's a real hopeful and ambitious cohort of young dentists coming through now who have obviously just had to sit through a very difficult 2 years in their early bits of their career, which I think, although very difficult, hopefully will make them more resilient in the long run. And I think there is a lot to be excited about looking forward.
It is the resilience, and that's what we as mature practitioners really need to help young dentists with. It's how you keep yourself going and how you keep your own life there, as well as being able to do the dentistry.
Absolutely.
So I really believe that, and I have to believe that for the sake of my daughter.
That's true.
She's a practicing dentist, and I do believe that, and she's so enthusiastic about what she does, even more than me.
That's nice.
So we need to be able to work like that and work together. And I believe there is hope there for a different model. A different model. It's not going to be the same.
No.
And we have to support that and help dentists with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for giving up some of your afternoon to chat to me about this. I really appreciate it.
You're very well.
There in the end, we had a little bit of trouble at the beginning getting this conversation started, but we got there in the end. So thank you very much, and have a wonderful weekend.